Good day. This is Mrs. Johnson, one of the guidance counselors from Charlemont High School, and today, as part of recognizing Child Month, I'm wanting to share with you on the topic of female health and wellness. And this may seem like a topic particularly directed towards the girls, but I think it's important for both boys and girls, male and females, to understand about each other and know how to empower each other, and that comes through knowledge and education. This month, for Child Month this year, we focused on the topic I soar. Soar meaning striving to overcome adversity through resilience. Resilience has to do with being able to bounce back from a negative experience. And in life, you're going to be thrown lots of negative experiences, and your ability to know what resources are available to you, have knowledge about yourself and your environment is going to help you to be able to do just that, to stay resilient, to bounce back. So today we thought it was important to talk to you about female health and wellness. And the first place we want to start is the main thing that we associate with females are vaginas, right? Because we see it as the main distinguishing thing about a female. So we're gonna start there, but we're gonna branch out to the larger issue of what makes a woman and what is special about a girl. So let's start with the female reproductive organ. We have all kinds of pet names that we give it. We have colloquial terms that we use. You might have heard some of them. Not everybody say vagina, which is the biological correct term for the female reproductive organ, or at least really it's part of it, not really the whole thing. We normally just refer to it as the vagina, but you know, people use words like chunny, tun tun, pum pum, all kinds of other names, but I encourage you to know the correct name and use the correct name so you don't have any misunderstanding with anybody with what you're talking about, and you know what they're talking about, right? And if you have to go to the doctor, you have to explain yourself somewhere, you know the correct term, vagina. That's kind of the blanket term that we use for the female reproductive organ, but the female reproductive organ really consists of 5 main parts. The outside, which you can see if you're looking from the outside of the female's body, is really not the vagina. We call it the vagina, but it's not. It's actually the vulva. So those 2 large and smaller inside lips. So you have the outer lips that are larger. Labia majora is the biological term. And then the smaller lips that are inside, they are called the vulva. So that's really not the vagina. The vagina is really the passage that's on the inside, where the baby comes down. That's really the vagina. The outside is the vulva. So then you have the vagina, which is the passage on the inside that allows the passage of whatever is in the body to come out, or something from outside the body to go in. That's the vagina. Beyond the vagina, you have sort of like a door that leads you to the uterus, which is really the cervix. So the cervix is just that closed area that's beyond the passage. Up further, there is a closed area, that's the cervix, and the cervix opens up into the uterus. The uterus is basically the size of my fist. So even though we think it's all of that pelvic area, it's the size. When the woman is not pregnant, it's the size of the fist. When the woman is pregnant and it's closed, it's squashed up like this. When the woman is pregnant, it balloons to the size of a 8-pound baby, depending on the size of the baby. But yes, but when it's not, it's the size of just your fist. So you have the uterus, or what we call the womb, and beyond the womb you have 2 little branches that come out to the side. Those are the fallopian tubes. That's where that leads you to the ovaries. Ovaries are little balls shaped like eggs. They are really small as well, shaped like the eggs at the end of these fallopian tubes, and that's where the eggs are made. That will allow a woman to be able to reproduce when the egg is combined with a sperm. So ovaries, where eggs are made, fallopian tubes that allow the egg to travel from the ovaries into the uterus. The uterus, that ball, then the opening to the uterus is the cervix, and it opens down into a passage, and that passage is really the vagina, and outside of the vagina where the lips are, that's the vulva. So that's the female reproductive organ. Now we're starting there because it's important for you to just know the parts of your body. And just like how your hand is a part of your body, your nose is a part of your body, so the vulva is a part of the body, and the vagina and the ovaries. There's nothing unclean or weird or strange. Just like how my nose is brown, your might be brown as well, or it might be pink or whatever color. It might be lighter skin, darker skin than me. Just the same, vulvas come in different colors. Just like how my cheeks are fat, my neck is fat, yours might be skinny. It's the same way. People's body comes in different shapes and sizes. Nothing is wrong with yours if yours is different from somebody else's. And just like how you can touch your hand, you can touch your vulva. There's nothing shameful or dirty about your body because God made your body, every part of it. Your eyelashes, your eyelids, your nose, your lips, your ears. He made all of it from top to bottom. And there's no part of it that he made that was dirty or unclean or disgusting or nasty. Nothing like that, right? So it's important as a part of you being knowledgeable about yourself and feeling confident in yourself is being able to know about your body parts, and that's why we started there. Now, one of the reasons why people say the vagina is nasty or dirty is because it emits discharge. There is a liquid that comes from it. Your pee actually comes from your urethra, which is another hole that branches off from the vagina and not really out of your vagina. So because urine comes from there and it's an excrement, people sometimes associate it with the vagina and says, okay, then that makes it dirty. No, it's a normal process that the body goes through. It's a healthy process. It's an important process because if you didn't urinate, you would be sick. No, another reason is that you have discharge. You have this liquid that is similar to the white part of the egg. It feels a little bit slimy, or it might be watery. Sometimes, depending on the time of the month, it may change color, and those are the things that make people think, sometimes it has a smell, sometimes it has a fishy odor, sometimes it has an eggy odor, whatever it may be. But these are some of the reasons that persons think that the vagina may be some place that's not clean. But the discharge is pretty normal. It's part of how the body stays healthy. No, your body has a certain level of acidity and alkalinity. So if you do chemistry, you're supposed to know what that means. But it's called the body pH, and it helps you to be able to not grow bacteria or germs on your body. So if your depending on the weather, depending on what you eat, all those things can cause the pH in your body to change. And in order for the vagina to stay clean and healthy, it has to stay a certain pH. Now, in order to make that happen, the good Lord has designed it that He allows the body to secrete different discharge to maintain and to keep that balance, so it doesn't get too acidic and it doesn't get too alkaline, and therefore it keeps the right pH to prevent bacteria from growing, like yeast and these other infections that you could get from your clothes or other things that touch your body. So the different discharge that you will see has to do with the changes in your hormone levels, the changes in your pH, what you eat, even sometimes the types of cleansing agents that you use. So the vagina is very delicate. You shouldn't use highly perfumed or scented or harsh soaps. You should use very mild soaps, and you should only use soap or any kind of liquid or additives to the lips of the vagina. It should never go inside. So some people practice things like douching. They sell these things for you to spray and wash yourself with. Those are not good for you. They mess with your body's own natural pH. So any kind of soap that you're using should be gentle and mild. Think of like a baby's skin. that's what you should use, so that you don't interfere with the natural cleansing process that your body goes through to keep the vagina healthy and clean. As your hormones change, so will the discharge. It might get a little bit more cloudy, it might get a little more clear, it might get thicker or thinner. That's your body doing what God created it to do. Nothing to be alarmed about, nothing to start washing out yourself with all kinds of things, and then you make things worse because it interfere with the body's own natural process. All right, so we've touched on the physical parts of the the female reproductive organ. We've talked about the fact that it's clean, it's natural, it's not nasty, it's important, God made it, it has some special skills, and we've talked about how you can keep yourself clean. All right, now, as you know, one of the other things that's associated with the female reproductive organ is menstruation. So every month, once a girl reaches the age of where she starts her menstrual cycle because of puberty, she will release an egg from the ovaries we talked about. They will travel through the fallopian tube. If they find no sperm to join with and to implant, so she becomes pregnant, then it continues to travel down through the uterus. And because the body was preparing for baby, it would have built up a thick padded area of blood to line the uterus to make preparation for the egg to implant in. And because there was no baby, that the body is going to send a signal for that to shed and come out. That's all that happens when you have a period. The blood that was built up to form cushioning for the egg to implant, if it was fertilized, there's no need for it, so it sheds and comes out. Just a normal natural process. The blood that's there is not any special blood. It's the same blood that if you cut your hand it would run out. That's all. And yes, sometimes it has an odor because when blood mixes with oxygen with the air, it starts to break down and decay, and therefore that's where the odor comes from. But it's not anything about your body that's unclean. It's the waste that your body has put out that is now, because blood is a living thing, as it starts to break down, as it hits the air, it has a smell, which means that you have to wash yourself properly, pay keen attention to changing your pads or tampons regularly. When you have your period, like every 4 hours, you would need to change your pad or your tampon depending on how heavy your period is. And make sure you have a bath morning and evening to keep yourself fresh, wash away that residue that would have been on your body when the blood comes out. That's all. Just like how if you went outside, you got sweaty, you wash off the sweat. That's it. It's just another body fluid and from a natural body function. And this happens every month. For some women, it happens every 26 days, 24 days, 21 days. It can happen as much as every 33 days. But you are expected to have regular cycle. So some people, it's irregular. So it might come this month and it doesn't come next month. You skip a cycle, skip 2 cycles. It's important that if you are concerned, to talk to your doctor. Jot down the dates and see if you can keep a track of it. And it's good in any case for a girl to keep track of her period so she knows if something is off, if the cycle has changed. And as a teenager, because you're just going through puberty, your cycle is just settling off. It may not be as regular as when you're an adult. It might fluctuate between that 26 days to 30 days, and it may not be as predictable. But if you keep a log on a calendar and mark the day when you have your period, you'll be able to have a good idea when to expect it next and to figure out what your cycle is. All right, so that's the menstrual cycle. Talk to your doctor. It's important for you to go to the doctor at least once every year, and that's something that you should practice right into adulthood, because you don't have to wait until you're sick to go to the doctor. It's good to get a checkup, know what your blood sugar is like, your blood pressure is like. Just ask doctor questions about different things that you might want to know that might come up about your body, things that might be important for you to eat or wear. So speaking of what to wear, cotton clothing breathes best. So this shirt I'm wearing is not cotton. It's a little bit stretchy, has some spandex in it, so it will tend to make me hotter. So that means that if bacteria is on my skin, and bacteria likes warm and moist areas, if I sweat because of this, it's likely to breed bacteria. So it's important that I have a bath later. But if this is like clothes that I'm wearing on my vagina or close to my body, it's even more important because I don't want to create an environment where bacteria can grow, which means that it's important for you to lean more to wearing cotton underwear. And yes, you might see a pretty underwear that's not in cotton and you feel like that's so looks so pretty, that's so stylish, it's lacy and it's fancy. I think I want to have that. That's fine. But you have to know that you can't keep on that kind of underwear all day. And you might feel like wearing it just to make yourself feel good for a particular day, or when you're going out, when you come back in, have a bath and you change. That's not clothes, or you prefer, or it's better you wear that on a cool day or one evening when you know you're not doing a lot of physical activity where you're going to sweat and make yourself uncomfortable. If you have a bigger body, if you have a larger frame, the folds of your body might sweat, and that's going to be a problem. So you have to take keen attention to dry yourself properly when you have a bath, or to you might want to put Vaseline on your thighs to, just like they do for a baby, keep your body from chafing if you sweat or moisture builds up between your clothes and your body, or between folds of your skin. So those are some ways you can take care of yourself.